No show prep, no solid plan. Stands a yarn, recants a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common Man, common man. Charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Word we play. Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh boy!
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
I'm a fraud. Yes.
Mark, they can't pitch. They can't hit. What is with? I mean, come on.
Yeah, Rosie.
You're calling me a coward? Young man, I've done things that would make the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Thank you, Amsterdam. Thank you, Walla Walla. Thank you, Mazatlan. Thank you, Copenhagen. Thank you, Tel Aviv. Thank you, Transylvania.
We've never, made excuses or alibis, and we're damn sure not crybabies.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Tampa Bay.
Is wearing women's underwear part of your training?
Yeah, baby.
I know one thing. If anyone thought I wouldn't look good purple, look at me now. Look at me now.
We're happy for you.
You guys are going to criticize whatever you want to criticize.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on shame on you.
Huh?
The fool me can't get fooled again.
You are correct, sir, yeah.
Welcome back to the spotlight, young man.
That's all, folks.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
So, Monday, we were at Hazelton National Golf Course in Shasta. Their mission statement is we host championship golf. That's what we do. You want to be a member? 2030 or 20, whatever it is, 2029 Ryder Cup, you won't play golf all summer. You'll have to go somewhere else. And they were hosting the Federated Challenge, benefiting Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And I was thinking more about the organization. They've raised $67 million over the past, I think it was 20 or 22 years. I think they've done the Federated Challenge, and they raised a record $5.48 million in this past. They do a gala where they have silent auctions and such, and then the golf tournament itself, and it benefits Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And to me, I started thinking, I sort of feel like I'm your big brother. I mean, look at I took you under my wing. All the I can't even. It's hard to do it with a straight face. Took you under your wing all those years ago here at the Fan. You were just this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed youngster, just this rookie.
I was a pup.
You were a pup. That's exactly what you were. We should have called it Common and the Pup. You were just a pup.
I always loved that
one. And then, you after learning to crawl, you learned to walk, you learned to fetch. You went out and got me sweatpants. No, that was somebody else. Some intern. I was so fat and uncomfortable in my I was wearing Levi jeans. There was a time that's all I wore was Levi jeans. I don't own a pair of Levi jeans anymore. Well, a lot of things like tend to be is like, as you get older, your wants, your needs, and desires change. For instance, when I was a kid, I never liked spankings. And anyway, would you look to me as do you consider me like a big brother?
I don't really know what to consider you.
Gadfly. Guess that'd be probably about it. You use that Facebook Marketplace thing, right? You have in the past.
Yes.
I know the shoes didn't sell.
No.
I think you ended up having to just bury those. But have you sold a lot of things on Facebook?
Yeah, we still have a bunch of stuff we need to sell because, you kind of run through all the baby stuff. It's just hiding down in the basement.
Well, that's why I asked, because I have things
You're going to have a baby?
Well, I plan to have more children with my second wife. She just hasn't been born yet. You're having my baby. Oh, that's what I should do for Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg, you're having my baby. Oh, what a lovely way to...
What about a little watching Scotty grow?
Yeah, I gotta go to a couple of keys lower. You're having my baby. Oh, what a lovely way to say that you love me. How cheesy is that? You're having my baby. What a lovely way to say that you love me.
Well, isn't it?
I guess that's Paul Anka. Paul Anka, who, by the way, they named Sanka after. Have you ever heard of Sanka? My dad used to drink Sanka when I was a kid. That was some kind of instant coffee. That was like, I think, the very first instant coffee. Think about how far we've come from the days of instant coffee. Just awful. Paul Sanka. And then he just dropped the S. His name originally was Sanka. I've got a 1922 Singer sewing machine I want to sell. I mean, and then on the Facebook, you just put it on there and then wait for somebody to call, and then they come over to your house. And I don't know if I want to go through all that. That's why I could be sitting on all sorts of valuable things that I'd rather just take to the dump.
The Facebook Marketplace experience is very different. Seems like it's from another life.
Yeah. Is that like
you'll like put a product out there that you want to sell,
like a sharpshooter?
You might get like 15 people will be like, "Is this available?" And then you'll answer them back, "Yes, it's available." And then they just ghost you. They don't contact you back. And then trying to figure out, for me, I'm not delivering it anywhere.
Right.
If you want to come to my house and get it, I can set it out on the front step for you.
What if they're Dahmer-like?
Well, that's the risk.
Yeah.
It is amazing how, I'll be interacting with women, and because I'm a dude, whenever they come to pick up something, they'll be bringing the boyfriend with, the husband with. They don't trust me,
right.
Which I don't blame them.
I've had a lot of interactions with women as the Radio Romeo, by the way. It sounds
baby.
A little different than the interactions you're talking about. There was no buying, selling, and trading there. Trust me. I was getting mine. She was getting. We were getting our share. Night moves.
Yeah, baby.
Learned about love in the back of a Dodge. The lesson hadn't gone too far. Humming a tune from 1962. Funny how the night moves. What other places can you sell this stuff? Like, is it Etsy? I thought I've heard of something called Etsy.
Yeah, eBay.
eBay is another. I also have a bubble hockey game. I was going to give it to you, and you said it looks kind of ratchet.
Yeah, I don't want one of those. I want like a nice one.
Well, it is a nice one. It's not the highest end one, but it's sturdy. What don't you like about it? I mean, it's not like the one you're going to see at an arcade. Those are heavy duty because they get knocked around a lot. So I got that. I just want to get rid of the stuff, and then I sometimes think to myself, well, what am I going to get for it? I mean, if somebody says, I'll give you $20 for it, give me $20, give me $20. Well, then it's not even really, and I'm not thumbing my nose at $20, but the machinations and the calling and putting the ad out and then this and wait and to come on, and then, that's not even worth the $20.
See, I'm on your side on this. We have so much junk now that either A, I just want to bring it all to Goodwill, or B, literally call a junk removal company. there's like stuff in your garage, like tools that I never use. It just takes up space. I just don't want any of it anymore. But
well, that's why I use two guys in a junk truck. And if you remember, I was endorsing them for a while. And same thing.
But I would rather go that route. But my wife wants to do. We should try to sell that.
Yeah. Well, then I think I talked about this about a year ago. I have from my late mother-in-law. I have all this china and these little, when you would, like if you had have afternoon tea and crumpets, these little saucers with the little teacups in them. And I got hundreds of them. And then, so I look up to see what they're worth. And if you can find somebody, because usually it's somebody that has, hey, if you're missing one from your set, and nobody collects china. Do you have like the fine china in your cabinet that you bring out when company comes over? Nobody does that anymore. That's olden days stuff. And then, then my wife goes, well, I wonder if my mom would be upset if she knew I was getting rid of it. And I go, well, I don't know what to tell her. Well, I can't. Unless somebody does one of those seance things, I can't ask her. So I don't know what to do. So I don't know. Buy, sell, trade. Oh, here, this might be just as good as Facebook Marketplace. I would 100% buy that bubble hockey. My kid wants one so bad. If serious, let me know. I've just made a sale. As a matter of fact, I would say.
That's all, folks.
That's all.
Yeah, but it might be one of those Facebook Marketplace things where you say, hey, yeah, it's available, love to sell to you, and then they just don't ever respond to you.
This one says you got to meet the Dahmer likes at a neutral location like Rosie's house, Kowalski. Yeah, maybe that would be the place. We'll take a break. We'll come back, peek at the purple, and we got a lot of controversial Vikings news to get to on the other side of the break. Tennessee also has a keyword for us here in the Fan.
Yeah, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks for their national cash contest. Just enter the keyword dollar at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. The keyword is dollar. Enter now at KFAN.com. KFAN welcomes some great shows to Treasure Island this year, including Joe Bonamassa.
You can have your driving in you can have your drive-in picture shows. I'll just be listen to the radio. I'm just sitting here watching Scotty grow.
On August 15th, Snoop Dogg.
What was the other one I was going to do with Snoop Dogg?
I forget. Our memories are so bad.
It was really cheesy. Oh, you're having my baby. Oh, what a lovely way to say that you love me.
On September 5th, and Ron White.
What can I have for Ronnie White?
Well, he's the comedian, so I think you should do a joke one with him. Just flew in from New York?
No, I know. No, this would be better. Just eat it. Just eat it. Eat those bananas. Eat those newspapers.
That's on October 17th. Get the complete details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
I really enjoy the contributions of the listeners who are regular listeners. They're there all the time, day in, day out. You hear from them on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line day in, day in and day out, and they always know the bits. And I did this bit already, but here's what it says. I heard it's Dairy Queen Day on the Fan. Does Tana have a hockey game tonight? They know the bits because I said to you. I always love that one. I said I was eating a Blizzard, one of the mini ones. I said, Tana B, you got hockey tonight? And you go, we had it last night. I go, well, now you can go ahead and have some ice cream because you won't feel it in your gut. I told the sales guy the story. They think you're crazy, that you can actually still 12 hours later feel.
How old is the sales guy?
They're all in their 30s. And we all kind of mocked you a little bit. At first, I defended you and stuck up for you, but then they were having so much fun ripping you. It's like, I said, here's what I said. I was sarcastic. I go, you guys don't understand. He's a world-class athlete. I mean, when you're a world-class athlete, you can feel that in your, they just thought it was preposterous that 10 hours later, you'd still be able to feel a scoop of ice cream in your stomach. And I kind of think it's kind of preposterous, too. And so does Ryan in Michigan. But, tend to let them think what they want, right?
It's all right.
Yeah, so, you know what? Sticks and stones can break your bones, but a cup of ice cream will really bog you down. Peek at the Purple is brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. The temps are climbing, so your air conditioner is working overtime, and your electrical panel might do that as well. Like, it can cause your breakers to trip when your air conditioning kicks in, or your lights dim during peak heat. Your system just might be overloaded. Affordable Electric handles panel upgrades, dedicated circuits, and troubleshooting to keep your home running safely all summer long. 612-331-VOLT. 612-331-VOLT, or visit affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com. Power done right, and they're shockingly affordable! Here's what I wanted to get to. Let's see if I can pick through this as best I can. I talked to the purveyor of positivity, the voice of the Vikings, Vox, 9 to noon, Barney the Purple Dinosaur. He was just leaving the street. I said, hey, PA. He goes, what up? And I said, yada. And I said, I've been told by a number of people that you think Carson Wentz should be the starting quarterback for the Vikings. Is this true? Is this the truth, the whole truth, or at least some semblance of the truth? And he said, nope, never said that. He said, I think right now he gives you the best chance to win because he knows the system better than the other two quarterbacks do. Now, you would hope McCarthy would know it pretty well by now.
I was going to have a question. Yeah.
He's been there 3 years.
J.J. McCarthy has been here longer than Carson Wentz. So why doesn't he know the system better?
But not only that, we heard it and that's why I said if I could balance this, but I don't want to dig around and try to find the stories and have to play Summer Samba and all that, the intermission music to get the exact quote. But if you'll remember from that Kyler Murray story about Alec Lewis yesterday, they were talking about the complex offense and Kyler needs a challenge and this. And do we sometimes, and I think I brought this up before, and but I don't remember if we did talk. Maybe I just, because I'm always thinking, always prepping for the show. So I may not have said this out loud and just thought about it, but do you think like some of these guys, their offenses are too complicated almost because I want to show everybody what a great offensive mind I have? I don't just have off tackle left, off tackle right, and 65 toss power trap. I've got motion and I got razzle dazzle and I've got vertical passing. Because I think it was said that in that piece that when you come up to the line as a Viking quarterback, there's so much going on that you have to know. It's like, well, why is it that I don't? And again, I know we've had a couple of successful regular seasons, so maybe that complicated offense is the reason why that the defense has no idea what's coming either, because there's so much going on with the Vikings offense that there's no way to track what they're doing or to predict what play they're going to run or what each player is going to do. Or is it just too much where it just, I'll equate it to be, I don't like to talk about myself. I really don't. And I don't like to use myself as an example or a comparison or an analogy. But it's like in golf, if you start thinking about too many things, your spine angle and your takeaway, and are you setting your wrist and stay behind the ball and your stance and your grip and all that, you have zero chance to hit a good shot. Mm-hmm. You can't be. Those are for the range, and you just go out and play. And I sometimes wonder if and not just O'Connell, but a lot of these guys are considered mastermind offensive geniuses. And maybe it's just too complicated, or do you think that's just the way pro football is now? I was going to make a comparison with you. Okay. Not golf related, but radio related, right? Like you are a gardener. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When the Tenna Fitzgerald is on, I'm an architect. Okay. I feel like KOC might be architect to the extreme, and that I think what you want out of your perfect gardener or perfect quarterback is you got to have some architecture to a certain extent, but you also got to have a little gardener to you, and be able to adjust based on how the breakdown in the play. And I feel like even Dan Orlovsky said it the other day with Adam Thielen on ESPN that the quarterback when you're a quarterback in KOC's offense, you have to let KOC's offense be the star.
Like the quarterback's not the star. It's
That's
KOC.
where I heard.
It's KOC's a star, and I'm thinking, I'm like, I think you can go too far on that.
I
Like,
couldn't agree with
you got to have a quarterback. Like, Aaron Rodgers is a guy who can just go up to the line of scrimmage and go, oh, I see they're running this D, we got to do this play.
Yeah.
Or I go back to Kansas City and Buffalo in that one playoff game where Josh Allen throws a touchdown with like 14.
Just gonna say that.
He throws a touchdown with 14 seconds left, and Mahomes and Kelsey and I think even Tyreek Hill are literally just drawing plays in the dirt, going, "Hey, I think we can run this play here."
Right. It's
not everything's like we got to. Here's our 100 plays at the beginning of the year, and we got to perfect these 100 plays. And like I said, I think it can be dangerous to be too much of a gardener as a quarterback because you have to have some structure to you, and the offense has to have some structure to it. But I do wonder sometimes if KOC goes overboard on the structure.
This text messenger, I think, sums it up pretty well, Jeff and Monticello. The Vikings may have the most complex offense in the entire NFL, but if they can't pick up the blitz or block the right person at the line of scrimmage, the quarterback will be running for his life. And that's the truth, And so I think you're right. So I'm not asking O'Connell to dumb it down, and he's going to do what he wants to do, and he's obviously a bright offensive mind. But I do think there is a fine line. I think you summed it up quite succinctly, and that was the example I was going to use. I remember that when they had to go down for that play, that was a play that was just drawn up by Kelsey and Mahomes. Kelsey said something like, "I'm going to run over there." And Mahomes said, "You go there and I'll get you the ball." There was really there wasn't one of their plays 65 toss power trap. What it was you run down to the back end of the Rambler, and when you get to the passenger door, do a button hook, like we used to do when we played in the streets as kids. That's the kind of plays they were running. Now, you can't run that play every time. That was during a very chaotic moment when, season is on the line. Get back.
Get back, guys.
Yeah, that was when season was on the line. So, but it to the point, I wonder if it can be. And the reason I said it can work is because he might have a complicated offense. He had a couple of great regular seasons, 13-4 and 14-3. And two of his regular seasons have been, I say his, I mean, it's not all on O'Connell, but he's the head coach and he's the offensive mastermind. So, but other times it hasn't worked. They've had some, and it's not, I don't think all the success is because of his offensive genius. And then when it fails, it's not all because of woeful shortcomings and inadequacies in the offensive game plan either. But it makes you wonder sometimes, is it a bit too complicated? Let's pause, come back. That's Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. For all of your electrical needs, it's affordableelectric.com. More with Tennessee and Common next. The
Common Man.
Jack White, Guns N' Roses, and plenty more. Enter today at KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 to be 534 top of the yellow. Mark Rosen in the studio at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow, program password 10 to be. We have two participants that have never played program password before.
One of them I think has played once.
Ryan
really? Carter, yeah.
He did come in once.
Yes. He's played once or twice.
Oh, really? I did not know. What's his record? We got to wait for a statistician guy.
I'd have to look it up, yeah.
But video coordinator guy.
The video coordinator from the Minnesota Wild. The position that I've always coveted. The guy I've wanted to steal his job, Jonas Plum, will be playing program password tomorrow.
And you said Jonas is a big fan of the Grum.
He listens to the Grum.
Yeah. So he and Ryan, I didn't know Carter. There are people that have played program password. I have no idea they've been in here. We've played hundreds of games.
I feel like Ryan played a long time ago, like back in the early program password days.
Well, it will happen to me where I'll run into somebody at an event or a function, or just maybe at Rosen's house, Kowalski's, and they'll say, Guy, I played golf with you back in 1998. You remember? I'm not trying to be mean, but no, I guess I don't remember. I barely remember who I played with today. Who did I play with today? Oh, Brett Blakemore. Blakemore beat me. That's what it's come to.
Wow.
Think about this.
Above average at that.
He beat me shooting an 84.
Is that his first time beating you?
I don't know. I'm just saying he beat me shooting.
84 is a solid score.
If you told me I'd never shoot 84, my point is, think of what I have to shoot not to beat 84. I shot 90 today. This was after being even par, standing on the 12th tee box at Prestwick yesterday, where I played the first 11 holes. I had an experience that was not unlike that of a PGA Tour player. I would compare my game to Jackson Coyven. Is that his name, Coyven?
Yes.
I was like Jackson Coyven for those. And now, just like that, the rug got pulled off from under me, and I'm back to being a terrible player. No! Well, the worst was, it all started on 6. I'm 2 over with a 3-putt, by the way. 2 over on number 6, the number 1 handicap hole. It's a left front pin. I'm just off the green to the left, kind of on the upslope. Not halfway between you and me. So we're, what, about 15 feet apart?
Mm-hmm.
So about 8, let's say 10, 11 feet from the hole. I stub the wedge. It rolls back down to my feet. I knock it on the green and 3-putt for triple.
All right.
And then the worst is 160-yard par 3, 16th. I made an 8. No! I hit it right, lost the ball in the long stuff. Re-teed, just left of the bunker. So I got to chip it over the bunker. I dump it into the bunker. Did I leave it in the bunker? No, I think I got it out of the bunker, but it went across the green. It was just a mess. But yeah, congratulations. He's gotten a lot better, Henry. I think he, in the Commonwealth golf power rankings, he may have passed you up.
Oh my gosh,
maybe you and he should have a battle, mano-a-mano, sort of like I did with Wes Walls.
I think I need to play a little more first.
Yeah. In response to our discussion about the complicated offense, my firstborn Deuce, if you'll remember the tales we spun about when he played flag football at the Vine Street Fields in Lincoln while he was going to college, flag football. Deuce writes, on the Vine Street Field, our quarterback would say, play call, get open. That's what the play call was. Every time it was get open. There was no 65 toss power trap. There was no, didn't we hear this about O'Connell's offense where some of the names of the plays take like almost the entire play clock just to translate it? It's like, okay, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, right, left, green, blue, 32, Baker, Butcher, Baker, candlestick maker on 3, break. It's like, dude, it's too complicated. Get open. That would be the call. And Dew says it worked for him. So.
Now what do you think? What do you think of that?
What do you think of that? The Vine Street Fields games. Alec Lewis wrote a piece today. You brought it to my attention. Tend to be, I got a little Rosen in me. I didn't see this. So Rosen will come in. I'll go, did you see the story? No, I didn't get a chance to read it yet. When were you going to read it? The show's, you're on at noon today.
I always love that
2
one.
today. You would think you would have read the story so we can discuss it together. But he's retired. He's retired. And Alec
But coming off of surgery, it's not like he's out doing active things.
Because remember yesterday I said, did you read the Kyler Murray story? And then he said no. And then he goes, oh, and then he was staring at it on his screen and said, oh, yeah, the part where, and then he was reading out of his phone. And, I know he's retired, and I'm not expecting him to bring breaking news to the show anymore. I know he's not going to be doing any insiding. He's not going to be in Gardenhire's office, but at least just open up the newspaper and take a look.
Not everyone's preps as thoroughly as you do before a radio show.
That's exactly right. So, Alec Lewis writes another analysis piece. He writes, at long last, Vikings practiced Wednesday, which meant that the quarterback competition driving so much of the NFL conversation finally began in earnest. Kyle Murray told reporters, excited to be here, excited to get started. Later, J.J. McCarthy said, best day of the year. So they're both optimistic. They're both optimistic. They have positivity. And then, Alec sort of kind of went into a little bit, and I'm not going to read the entire story, but he says Murray and McCarthy took similar number of reps, both participated in drills with the starting offensive group, and threw to elite receivers Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. The practice resembled organized team activities from an execution standpoint, too. Murray demonstrated the arm talent that made him the number one pick of the Cards in 2019, applying touch to passes in tight windows. Later on, a deep ball interception zapped some of his momentum. Sounds like a regular season Vikings game since 1961. Meanwhile, McCarthy needed a few practice periods to find a rhythm. Once he did, the 2024 first-round pick showed the product of his offseason work, layering passes with finesse. His eyes and his feet are aligned, much like the moon's in the seventh house and Jupiter aligns with Mars. Nothing over the 2-hour session indicated either had a dramatic advantage. The action validated Coach Kevin O'Connell's insistence that the team is holding a legitimate competition, and it also framed his preference to wait for a larger sample size before making a final declaration. Murray said that he threw to his teammates in the offseason in Minnesota, Tennessee, and California. McCarthy said that, and then Murray said Murray kept the specifics to himself, but said he got a lot of good work in. So they both worked in the offseason. They're both there, and they both got the similar number of reps. And, you know, I guess there is a possibility, and we've said this before, Tennessee. I still believe Murray was brought in to be the starting quarterback. I know the coach isn't on a hot seat per se. He was the coach of the year just a couple of weeks. The not winning the couple of years ago, the not winning the playoff game yet. It really, regular seasons are great, but really you're judged on how well do you do it. All teams want to qualify for postseason and then advance in postseason. And he's 0-2 in the offseason. New general manager now, I think, which gives him a little bit longer leash. But he's got to start. The team is kind of up against it a bit. They are, and again, it's all on paper, tend to be, but the team is sitting right now as, if you're looking at they have the fourth best or worst odds, however you want to look at it, to win the NFC North. And folks, there's only 4 teams in the division. So that's what the so-called experts say, and that can always change. We know how it is. Those are just betting odds. But I think most people that follow the league would say if they're ranking the NFC North teams, the Vikings right now are probably sitting at the bottom. And so much of that, of how a team's success is how good the quarterback play is. And McCarthy's really, really struggled. And I know part of the reason you bring Murray in is because he was so inexpensive. Cardinals are paying the vast majority of it, 95% of it or more, and the Vikings are paying him 1.4. But the coach wants to win, the team wants to win, the organization, the owners, and I just still feel like, I guess if Murray looks awful, the coaches said they're both going to play preseason. If Murray looks awful or gets hurt, well, then McCarthy's probably your guy. But I still think Murray will be starting week 1, I think. Regular season. I think so too.
And talking about KOC, I feel like it's, to a certain extent, hard to evaluate his performance as a head coach. A lot of people like to point out he hasn't won a playoff game.
Correct. But
on the other hand, I would say I don't think he's had a lot of talent to work with. And really? The fact that he got, like, the 2 years they went 13-4 and 14-3. One, nobody thought they were going to win that many games beforehand. They weren't considered like a power before those seasons.
Correct.
And I think he got the most out of what he had. Now, if you were to tell me KOC has had a huge influence on personnel and what players are coming in the building, well, then you could throw that back on KOC. I don't know how much of...
Right.
He was taking over, when he took over for Zimmer, that roster had gotten pretty bare. Spielman had struggled for a couple of years making draft picks, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And still to this point now, like, we don't have a laundry list of Pro Bowlers on this team. You don't have a list of a bunch of young players that could be future stars. They haven't really hit on draft picks. So it's hard to know on that range of things how much is on KOC and how much is not. But I just don't think he's had a lot of talent here.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. He has.
And in certain years has gotten more out of the team than what the talent would indicate.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at star power players, there certainly haven't been. I mean, Jefferson it? I mean,
and that wasn't even, that was before pre-KOC,
Nobody's had the player here in the system. He's had him to work with, but that would be about the only really star power player. There's other talented guys, Darasaw and others, but I mean.
If you told me KOC had a huge influence on the players on the roster, well, then I would start blaming him for the non-playoff wins then. The one year they were a pretty sizable favorite to win the playoff game, too, against the Giants.
Yeah, at home. Against a pretty ordinary Giants club. They were ordinary.
Got Danny Dimes paid.
Yeah. Right tackle Brian O'Neill quoted in the story by Alec Lewis. Brian just signed a contract extension the other day. $96 million, but I tell people all the time after taxes it's more like 45, and then he's going to buy his mom a house, buy a car, going to spend, save, invest, use, flaunt's really more like $22 or $45 million. But he said the urgency and the intensity in this building has been turned up to a level that I haven't seen in a few years. Not in terms of goals, but standards. One of the things Keith said yesterday, he's referring to Keith Carter, offensive line coach, standards don't really care about feelings. I like that. Lil B doesn't care about feelings.
No, she doesn't.
Either. She's a lot like...
Because she has high standards.
Yes, she's a lot like Keith Carter. Standards don't really care about feelings. When you're trying to go do something, you've got to rely on the standards every day and the choices you make to go be the best you can. And that does all sound good. It's, what's that phrase about lip service? You can say all the right things. And he's right. The coach and O'Neill's right and Lil B's right about those things. But then it's like, can you pull it off?
I feel like every year at this time, though, they're all saying the right things.
Yeah, exactly. And
this year feels different.
Yeah, this feels different. We like what we KOC started it right away at the very beginning yesterday. He said when he did his opening news conference, what's today? Is today Thursday? So was that Tuesday he was on with us? Not with us, but I mean he was on with the news conference. It was Tuesday. And we carried that, he and the GM, the Nolan Teasley. And the old, excitement here, and we've got the best what's that word they use? Culture, and the best this and the best that. And they're saying it all across the league right now. They're saying the same things over and over. And, it might be true. And I guess if they really feel that way, that's great. I mean, if you don't feel, if you have any doubt, your chances of having a successful season. So I hope they believe what they say, that it's not just, well, this is what you want, this is what you got to say, right? It's the old hope springs eternal. Every team, every season, every sport, it's always, we really think we got a great team here. Might be the best team we've had since I've been here. We got this, we got that. Emphasis on the lat, and everybody's ready to go. But we'll see how that goes. And, then Alex goes on, and he does a really good, Alec. And he does a really good job. We love him. Of course, sometimes you have to question some of his, he thought that the clown from Brown, he thought I went to Brown University. So you still have to sometimes scratch your head and Alec listens to the show, so how he could have thought that makes me wonder. But he goes through pretty detailed what happened on the first day, best of day one, et cetera, et cetera. I don't put, and Ted, I want to ask you how you feel about it. I don't put a lot of stock into what happens at these early practices, really in any of them, because they're all so controlled and scrimmage, and nobody's really, like when Murray was completing these passes and McCarthy and that, there's no real pass rush. I don't think they're hitting hard and really they're non-game situations. And so I guess it's better to have those practices run smoothly and have highlights. But then it also goes back to what we've talked about anytime there's goal for spring practice, when the offense plays the defense. And then you'll get the reports. Offense looked great in spring practice, put up 7 tutties. And what we're supposed to believe, I guess, is that our offense is just clicking. We're going to have a great a high-scoring, high-octane offense when that might be the case? Or is it really that our defense is going to be really, really bad, right? Or if the defense is great, offense had trouble moving the ball, sacking the quarterback, a pick six, batted down passes, tackles for loss. Defense played great. Is it because they are a really good defense, or is our offense that bad? And I tend to think it's usually more that when the offense performs really well, it's your defense is bad. And if the defense performs really well, it's your offense isn't very good. And same here. This is all controlled. I have to see what happens when real. And even those, what do they call them? Controlled. What do we when we have Baltimore?
Joint practice.
Joint practices. I still don't know if I put a lot into that either. And then the preseason games should have more meaning this year. The coach has said previously that starters will play, particularly the quarterbacks. I even think I read a piece in the Athletic about the Lions, and Campbell said they're going to do the same thing. They're going to play some starters this year. They're just going to do it because sometimes sometimes you have to see what you have. It's like if Murray isn't throwing, it's great that he has all these timing passes with finesse and this, and same with McCarthy. When you're just in a scrimmage, when everybody's wearing shorts, no shoulder pads, and a helmet.
And they can't touch the quarterback. But I want to see what he does when it's first game of the season and it's first series and it's 3rd and 12 from your own 18. And the defense on the other side of the ball has pinned their ears back and they're showing blitz. Well, let's see it. That's when I want to see if you can layer the pass and finesse it in there. That's the whole difference. But again, better to have positive reports coming out of the first day of training camp than it would be to have negative reports. And in the emails that I get to comment at KFAN.com, in the John Bryan KFAN text line, the text I get there, and just in everyday discussions when I bump into people, it seems like and this is very unscientific, it's almost like 50-50, where I have some people that are just, and maybe that's just natural. Terrible team, terrible city, terrible fans, we're going to be awful. And there's other guys, I think we might be pretty good this year. I think this Murray guy is going to be great. And, I really think this and that. And so, and until we actually play some real games, I don't think we're going to know for sure. But color me a little pessimistic at this point. And I've said before, I think it's better to be pessimistic than you don't get your heart broke as often, as Ricky Skaggs once sung. But we'll be out at training camp. I'm out Monday. I'm not on. I'm doing my Hope Kids tournament. Don Barry and Ames Construction hosts. No, this is good that I'm not there because this is so much more important than a single radio show. Hope Kids is a organization that puts together activities for kids and their family with life-threatening illnesses, and this is their biggest fundraiser of the year. And so it's really good. It's a great organization, and what they do is it's sort of like Make-A-Wish on a smaller scale. Because Make-A-Wish will do the big Disney trip and this and that. And what Make-A-Wish does is they feel like with surgeries and treatments and doctor's visits on the calendar, week after week, month after month, to give these kids something to look forward to. They have maybe they got a wild suite for a wild game, right? And then maybe 2 weeks later, they're going to go to the Timberwolves game with the suite there. And then maybe they're going to go to a movie or go to the bowling alley. And and the families get to come with. It's not just the kid with a life-threatening disease. So it's a great organization. And I just highly recommend if when you're going through your, and everybody's got their pet, charities that they like, but if you find it, look them up sometimes. Hope Kids. I really like what they do. So if you have an opportunity to check out their website at any time and see what they do, and if you want to help out, you can do that. So I'll be up, but then we'll be at training camp, and we'll see how it goes. It's always fun to be there and talk to the players, and I think I counted, Abbott put the schedule up. I think we're out there grand total between you and me, I think like 8 different times.
So that's a pretty nice number. I think that's what we do generally about every year. We'll take a break. We'll come back when we do. It'll be time for 534 T's, please.
Yeah, should we be concerned about a local star performance?
The Common Man.
You got to be really good at comedy.